Welcome to Ed Fluential Sports, where passion meets precision. Yes, I'm your host, Ed, diving deep into the plays, players, and stories shaping the game. And as you see in the title and thumbnail, I'll be rewarding athletes for the year they had in 2025. I always do these. Well, I started doing these last year, wait to the very beginning of the year to do it. Did this to begin 2025 as well, rewarding athletes in 2024. So from records to glory, the 2025 athlete honors presented by me, Ed, and getting into it, I got 13, I think. Yeah, 13 different awards here, um, and different people from different sports won these. Might be a couple of people from basketball, got basketball, football, golf, etc. represented here. But let's get straight into it with the first award being Rookie of the Year. So my Rookie of the Year for 2025 is Ryan Barnes, a PBA player, PBA Professional Bowling Association. For y'all that don't know, he won the Harry Golden PBA Rookie of the Year. He set the rookie earnings record, earning over 113,000 dollars, and he led all first-year PBA players with over 12,000 points. And he ranked 11th overall in points, becoming the first rookie in the modern era to qualify for the PBA playoffs. Now, he did lose in the first round, but he had a fantastic rookie year. His dad, one of the greatest bowlers of all time, um, who I'm forgetting his dad's name. I gotta look that up real quick because he is one of the greatest. But Brian, Chris Barnes. I don't know why I got stuck for a second. Yeah, Chris Barnes, his dad, but Ryan Barnes had a really good year, and he got the bowl with his dad against. And I think they're on the same team because they do team tournaments sometimes as well too. So yeah, great rookie year for Ryan Barnes. Excited to see what he is able to do this year, and around towards like the end of January, the PBA season is be getting started back up around like the 22nd, somewhere around there. The 2026 season will be starting. For the next award for Most Improved Athlete of 2025, most significant improvement from 2024 to 2025, I got to go with Caleb Williams. Rookie season was a bit rocky. The Bears went 5-12. He had 3,541 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, took 68 sacks, and had 10 fumbles. Didn't have a rushing touchdown at all last year. Rough rookie season. Then I didn't think too much of it because at the end of the day, it's like he was really thrown into a bad situation. They was just getting rid of Justin Fields. They brought all these pieces in, expect them to be super good. They started the season with about 4 wins, I think. Then they went on to lose 13 straight, and the downfall was really that Jaden Daniels Hail Mary game winner, one of the best game winners we've seen in NFL history. But this year really bounced back. And I was 2024 is his rookie season, but 2025 he bounced back really well. Had led the Bears to an 11-5 record. Had a chance to finish the season 12-5. Even if they lose, it's still a significant improvement from last year as they only won 5 games. Had more passing yards with 3,730 passing yards. Had more touchdowns with 25 touchdowns and could get even more this weekend. Just 6 interceptions, so the same as last year. That's one thing he's been good at through his 2 year career so far, limiting those turnovers. Just 20, only took 23 sacks, a lot less than what he took last year. As I mentioned, 68 that he took, had 8 fumbles, so limiting turnovers. It's still been, at least interception wise, he doesn't throw a lot of interceptions, but fumbles have still been a bit of an issue. But it is two less than what he had last year. And he had 3 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown this year. So he had 4 scrimmage touchdowns compared to him just having 0 last year. And I think the rushing numbers are down a bit, but it is good because he's been able to get out the pocket a lot, get out the pocket more, make the right decisions, and the Bears. And I'm excited to see what him and the Bears can do in the playoffs. And for the next award, Breakout Athlete of the Year. For this one, I got to go with Cora Lewis from the Pro Volleyball Federation, one of the top players for the Atlanta Vibe. She won the PVF Rising Star of the Year, and the PVF are now associated with Major League Volleyball, so they're under the MLV banner now. But Cora Lewis, she had 236 kills, 58 blocks, 78 digs, 299 points, and made the playoffs. But they did lose to the Orlando Valkyries 3-1 in the playoffs. But Cora Lewis was still fantastic in what she was able to do, and that was her first season too. She was just coming from college, so instead of instead of because I could have gave for a rookie of the year too, but the PBF is newly established, so I decided to give her a breakout star of the year because she really rose and even won Rising Star of the Year in the PVF. For the next award, Comeback Athlete of the Year, somebody who came back and didn't miss a step. I also said this in the wrestling award show that I did featuring the family. I gotta go with Ilya Dragunov for Comeback Athlete of the Year. I was debating between him and Kawhi, but I got Kawhi up here for another award, so y'all will see that later on. But Ilya Dragunov, he came back, didn't miss a step, went 9-1 since his return, won the U.S. Championship, put on really good matches versus the likes of Sami Zayn, Carmelo Hayes both times, Tommaso Ciampa, I think Fraxium, he went up against both of them, or at least one another the match with Nathan Frazier. I do remember him having that. So, and even the story with Tommaso Ciampa was solid. It was rocky at first, but then it picked up. The story with Carmelo Hayes, even though they didn't play much into their NXT stuff, like the chemistry they had in the ring, that was really the story of it. And yeah, him beating Sami Zayn on his return at 90% win percentage in 2025 since his return. So yeah, comeback athlete of the year, I give it to Ilya Dragunov. Number five, best clutch performer. For best clutch performer 2025, I had to go with Shohei Ohtani from the MLB. Now and this is just the stuff in the calendar year 2025. Now looking at obviously the baseball season is from 24 to 25, but in the calendar year 2025, he had in the World Series he started at pitcher and had 10 strikeouts in a game, had multiple clutch hits in games. Uh, Especially in the playoffs, like example versus the Tigers in the ninth inning, had a very clutch hit that put the Dodgers ahead. And then it was a different game versus the Brewers where he had a homer and a triple that allowed the Dodgers to get the win. So Shohei Otani's been the best player in baseball, and that's because of how clutch he's been able to be down the stretch. Even if he's struggling, he still plays a significant role on that team, even if he is struggling from time to time, whether that be in the playoffs or the regular season. He always steps up when they need him most. Next, defender of the year, who played the best defense throughout the calendar year. This this one was pretty easy for me. Miles Garrett from the NFL for the Cleveland Browns. The Browns suck, especially on offense. Weren't close to the playoffs last year. Not close this year either. But Miles Garrett has been fantastic. He'll probably win Defensive Player of the Year despite the team being so bad. 22 sacks, one sack away from breaking the record for most in a single season. The Steelers didn't even focus on getting the win in their last game versus the Browns. They just focused on Miles Garrett is not getting the sack record against us. He's our division rival. He's not getting that record. That's what they focused on. They focused on that so much that they didn't even win the game. It was just we're not allowing Miles Garrett to break the record versus us. And that just goes to show how phenomenal he is and talented on defense. And then even the sacks, it's not just that, but he has three forced fumbles this year. He leads the league in sacks, obviously, with 22. He also leads the league in tackles for loss with 32. Some people get tackles for loss and sacks confused. I don't understand how. A sack is when you tackle a quarterback behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah, when you tackle a quarterback behind the line of scrimmage, that's that's a sack. A tackle for loss is when you tackle a receiver or running back behind that same line. That's a tackle for loss because they're not the quarterback. And it's pretty simple to understand. But he has 32 tackles for loss and leads the league in that. And 37 quarterback hits, 59 tackles, 42 of which are solo tackles, and 17 assisted tackles. Now, he's probably going to break the record, and Joe Burrow might just let him do it because I think Joe Burrow will. I don't think because at the end of the day, I think Joe Burrow's he gonna try to go out there and win that game this Sunday. But Brett Favre did the same thing a while back. Uh, for who I forget who has the previous record, but Joe Burrow gonna pull a Brett Favre and just let him get the record if he doesn't get it. I can definitely see that happening. For the next award, it's called Offensive Guru. So, who was the best offensive player this calendar year? For this one, I went with Nikola Jokic from the NBA. This was pretty easy for me. Like and obviously we talk about how lazy he is on defense, and I do think his defense has improved. Like it's improved to where it's not the greatest. Like it's still not good, but it's at least solid to where okay, it's like, and we really seen it from when he won the championship in what was that 2023 when they beat the Heat. Like we've seen it from there. Like he's improved since that. So his defense is getting a bit better year by year. Now he's out with injury for a month, so prayers up to him. But offensive guru in the playoffs, he was he gave you 26.6 points, 8 assists per game, and 2.1 offensive rebounds while shooting on 49, 38, 72 splits. Another good playoff run for Jokic. It was cut short by the Thunder, who eliminated him and the Nuggets in seven. And then you get to this season, what he's been doing this regular season before his injury, averaging a triple double, 29.6 points, 11 assists per game, and 3 offensive rebounds per game, a step up from last year when he was averaging 2.1. Now it's up nearly one with three and it's 60, 43, 85 splits. That's just amazing. Of and yeah, there's not too much words I can say about Jokic. Just truly amazing offensive guru of 2025. Next award, the best team. This is self-explanatory. The best team easily goes to the OKC Thunder. They finished as the first seed last year in the NBA. They finished as the first seed back-to-back years. This season, well, even then after they finished as the first seed, they won the NBA championship, led behind Shea, who was a MVP. J-Dub had a 40-point game in the finals, made all NBA third team and all defensive second team. You had Chet, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, all these quality guys and pieces that allowed them to win the championship, allowed them to finish as the first seed back to back seasons and their own pace to become the first seed for the third straight year in a row. And they still had these talented players. Shea is still the MVP candidate. Jada played in the finals through a wrist injury and held off the surgery. And now he's came back from it. Hasn't had the best start, but he has been at least offensively. But he's still been playing good defense. Mark Daigneault has been a really good coach. Any they got a some guy named Chris Youngblood on the team. So this team is amazing. So they had a really good 2025, and it's looking like they're going to have another great 2026. I wouldn't even say that they went on a skid. They just ran into the Spurs. They ran into the Spurs, who are the second seed. So it is what it is. Now keeping it NBA, but somebody different for Coach of the Year, despite how highly I spoke of OKC and what they've been able to do. Mark Daigneault is a really good coach, but I have to give Coach of the Year of 2025 to JB Bickerstaff. Led the Pistons to the sixth seed to end the 2025 season. Went into the playoffs, lost in six to the Knicks, and that was a very competitive 60-game series. It wasn't like, oh, they had no chance of winning. No, they had a chance, and if Malik Beasley doesn't make that mistake, then at the end of Game 6, this potentially goes to seven. Like, despite the Pistons being inexperienced, they played really good for a quote-unquote inexperienced team. And then this year, they're the first seed in the East. You've seen Jalen Duren. He's looked like an all-star. You're getting good bench production out of Marcus Sasser, out of Jaden Ivey. Like, yeah, he was a starter in the past, but now he's coming off the bench, and it's working to perfection. He struggled last game versus the Heat, but you're getting really good bench production. Asar Thompson looks great. Him and his brother both doing their thing. Asar in Detroit, a man in Houston, even though a man is playing point guard, but different conversation. Probably a different video in the future. But yeah, JB Bickerstaff, like those struggles, like he did his thing with Cleveland. They wasn't able to get over the hump. He got fired, went to Detroit, and it's really helped turn around this franchise from a team that lost the most consecutive games in a row at 29 to a team that's going to be in back to back, be in the playoffs back to back years, from the bottom of the East to the sixth seed to the first seed. So just shout out to JB Bickerstaff and what he's been able to do. Now for the next award, the Game of the Year. And y'all know I cover a lot of sports. I watch, I've already mentioned, in this alone, I mentioned basketball, bowling, football, volleyball. So what could possibly be Game of the Year? The Stanley Cup Finals, Game 4, NHL. June 12th, the Oilers defeat the Panthers 5-4 in overtime. Man, what the way that the game started with Florida jumping out to a 3-0 lead, the Panthers, I'm thinking, oh yeah, they're definitely going up 3-1 because and the Panthers did end up winning the Stanley Cup to go back to back, win back to back Stanley Cups. They had a 3-0 lead. I was like, yes, no way they blow this. Then the second period starts and the Oilers are on fire. They tie the game 3-3. So then you get to the third period, they both score, and now it's going into overtime. The score is 4-4, and then they win the game in overtime. It only took one overtime for the Oilers to win. They win 5-4 and tie the series 2-2. This game, man, my just both teams was both teams looked great. Like obviously they both had the down periods. Like both of their down periods came. You had the Panthers explode in the first. In the second period, it was just like they went blank. Then the same thing happened to the Oilers, but it was the first period they didn't know what to do. Second period they looked amazing, and then the pace really slowed down in that third period because it's like we had to win. We can't give up all these goals and get a win. Because with the Oilers, they had to bench Skinner, who was having a really bad series after just 20 minutes, and Picker played for those final 51 minutes. Then you had Leon Draisaitl, Hopkins, um, Adam Henrique, Kapanen, Nurse, Wallman, etc. They all played really great in that game for the Oilers. And even for the Panthers, Sergio Bobrovsky, he gave up 5 goals, but he stayed in the entire game. While you had Sam Reinhart, Barkov, Lundell, Sam Bennett, etc. They all did their thing and played exceptional for the Panthers. That was a really great game. That got to be game of the year for me. That was the best game played in the calendar year 2025. So yeah, just then the Panthers, they was been a tough loss, won a 3-0 lead, but they did end up bouncing back and won the series to win back-to-back Stanley Cups. All right, next award I will be mentioning Kawhi Leonard later in the video. Most dominant performance, the best individual game. Kawhi Leonard, his career high, 55 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 steals, and 3 blocks on 17 to 26 field goal, 5 of 10 from 3, 16 to 17 from the free throw line, defeated the one-seeded Pistons. The Clippers have been struggling this year. They've been at the bottom of the West at one point. I think I don't think they got as bad as the Kings, but they were definitely down there with them for a little bit, and they've been bouncing back. They've been recovering, and this was their biggest win of the season. The first seed of Pistons, who have been hot, they've been having a great season, and Kawhi dropped his career high after just handing a man was his main assignment. A few nights before this, he dropped 41 on the Rockets. And then he gets a man's brother Asar, and he drops 55, 96 combined points with the Thompson twins as his main matchup. Not all 96 against him, but obviously that's the headline because those are his main matchups. But yeah, Kawhi's best career game. The Clippers needed this much needed win, very impressive win. So best individual performance. That's why I said I could have made him comeback athlete of the year, but it's nothing that gets more special than this performance that we saw from Kawhi. In my opinion, he had a career high. He also had a double double with 11 rebounds, and then he was giving you amazing defense, which he's been giving the Clippers all season. He's been giving them really good defense. As that's not something that's surprising. It's just as long as he stays healthy, like he's not going to drop 50 every night. He's not no Wilt Chamberlain, but as long as he can stay healthy and get him 20, 28 points a game, like this team, they're definitely gonna get into the play in. It's still a tough mountain to climb because of that slow start, but they're definitely gonna get into the play in. Playoffs, maybe. I think they can get out the play in depending on who win it. But Kawhi best individual performance, most dominant performance. Match of the year. This is specifically catered to wrestling. As I mentioned, I did say the women's blood and guts match, which I do think was the best match of the year. It was AEW match, women's blood and guts. I talked about that on the wrestling awards, so I did. But to give a runner up who the second best match of the year, I would say the Anarchy in the Arena match at Double or Nothing for AEW. That was a super fun match, and people have like, well, maybe the women should get their own Anarchy in the Arena match. There were women involved in this match. You had Willow and Marina Shafir involved in the match. That was a super fun match. Definitely the best match for Double or Nothing. And it took a while for me to say, oh yeah, there's a match better than Anarchy in the Arena. It took me till November to say, oh, this match is better than Anarchy in the Arena. And ironically, it was another AEW match. And now for the last award, the Athlete of the Year. Who had the best 2025 out of any athlete? I've mentioned hockey, I've mentioned wrestling, I mentioned baseball, football, etc. I think I forgot a few, volleyball. But Athlete of the Year, I have to take it. I had to give it to Joaquin Neiman, a golf player. I got into golf in 2024, like late 2024, and either mid or late 2024, I started watching golf more. Joaquin Neiman, part of the Live Golf League, he's the only player to win multiple tournaments in 2025. There was 13 Live Golf tournaments that took place last year. Joaquin Neiman won five of them. He wasn't the only player to win two. No, because he was the only one to win multiple tournaments. But it wasn't two, it wasn't three. He won five tournaments out of 13. Man, he won. And then the way he won these, it was like some of these weren't. He won one tournament by three, another by five, another by three, another by one, and another by three. Three was just his lucky number. That's a good majority of his game winning by three. But five out of 13, that's 38%. He won 38% of all the Live Golf tournaments in 2025. So every other tournament had a different winner. But Joaquin Neiman was able to walk away with five tournament wins. He was the most dominant golfer, and even that tournament that he won by five, I could have put that's the best individual performance over Kawhi's, but I know a lot more about basketball than golf, so I can't do that. But and Kawhi is one of my favorite players all time. So, but Joaquin Neiman, I gotta give Athlete of the Year for 2025. I've never seen somebody have such a year like that. But yeah, Joaquin Neiman, 2025 was his year. Excited to see what he does in 2026. It should be a Live Golf tournament coming up soon. So I got to check once I get done with this video. But yeah, those are my um, 2025 athlete honors. 13 different awards rewarded in different sports: bowling, wrestling, golf, etc. 2025 athletes honors from records to glory presented by me, Ed. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, and share for others to see as we on the road to 1,000 subs.